He may be gone, but he's certainly not forgotten. The greatest wrestling announcer of all time, Lance Russell, passed away 5 years ago today, and he will never be forgotten. The Power Pro Wrestling Watch Along today will be dedicated to the memory of Lance Russell. We love you, Lancer.
Power Pro Wrestling. Power Pro Wrestling. Power Pro Wrestling. The Power Hour.
We are off and running. We're ready to go with the Power Hour. It's a Monday, and you know what that means. On a sad day where we remember the not so sad times, the happy times of Lance Russell as we open our show today, the great Lance Russell, and that was certainly a sad situation 5 years ago today as Lance Russell, while he was in town in Memphis, Tennessee, with his son Shane, had some kind of spell during the night. He fell, and then he went to a medical facility, and he never was able to kick out. We certainly 100% always remember the great Lance Russell. And we want to say hello to everybody that's watching. We want to say hello to Rod, and we want to say hello to Robert and Al Tuttle and Barry Hay on a day, on a Monday, as I'm wearing my Arkansas State University Red Wolf shirt a couple of days after a big win. Isn't that right, Barry Hay? That was there, a part of it for sure. Man, hope everybody's doing good. Hope you look forward to this show on a Monday night. Hope you're set for a fabulous show tomorrow. Want to get it going as far as bringing in the producer of the show and my co-host of Adam Dunn. And Adam, your thoughts as we begin this show talking about Lance Russell. And so we figured this out now, and you said it in the text. This is also I think it would be 5 years to the day that we met for the very first time. All right.
Yeah.
Tell the people.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. So 5 years ago, I had planned a trip to Memphis, and just coincidentally, it kind of worked out that unfortunately that was when Lance passed away, and I was able to be in town for the funeral and everything like that. So the funeral, there was a thing at Jerry Lawler's Hall of Fame Bar and Grill. And so, of course, I went to that, and that's where I finally met Randy in person. And then, so 5 years that Randy and I have been working on different projects and working on these shows like that. But, yeah, Lance Russell, I mean, that was probably, I think, the first real celebrity after Jerry Lawler that I had ever met, and got his autograph way back in the USWA days, and just Lance was just an institution and an icon. Even the era that I grew up in was kind of the tail end of Lance. His lasting impact, how important he was to championship wrestling and all the fans. It's just really hard to already, Randy. Been 5 years since we lost Lance, and man, completely just an irreplaceable part of Memphis wrestling history, and things wouldn't be how they were without the Lancer.
There's no doubt about it. So shout out and a big salute to Lance Russell. Now Scott's Art is in the house, and Drew Calvin Jr. in the house, as is Ahmad Rashad in the house. And he's ready to rock and roll today as we do some Power Pro Wrestling watch along here on a Monday night. Man, a lot of people making comments, and we appreciate it very much here tonight on a Monday night. Adam, I want you right now to tell everybody what they're going to see on this show today. Then, after you tell them that, I will tell you the inside scoop. It's live television. It's the wrestling business. You might plan things for weeks or months, and it may not happen for another 56 weeks. I'll tell you that in a minute. But the show is not a disappointment, even though this master format and these show notes don't make any, it does not, a lot of the stuff on this show, on this paper, did not take place on that Saturday morning on November the 28th, 1998. But what they do see is what?
All right. So, yeah, we're going to take a look and run it down. Like Randy said, the November 28, 1998 edition of the Power Hour was episode number 33. We're going to see the Syndicate open the show out in the parking lot. Tony Falk is kind of scared of heights. You'll see how that plays into it in just a few minutes. A hardcore street fight. You're going to see the Streak and Bulldog Reigns going against Baldo and Big Vicious Vic Grimes. We'll get an interview from Lawler and Stacy, and this brings out Sean Stasiak. We saw him in the past couple weeks. The Young Guns title will be on the line as Kid Wikkid goes against Aaron O'Grady, and the Power Pro Wrestling relationship with K-Fine, Super Country 1079 in Jonesboro, that begins this week. We'll see Mick Tierney taking on Lance Jade, Sean Stasiak against Tony Falk, and Stacy gets trapped upstairs in the TV5. So we'll see all of that coming up today, Randy. Lots of great stuff, especially considering what was supposed to happen on this episode.
I'm changing the plans. I am totally
live
changing
television.
the plan. Live television. I can do that. You know why I can do that? Because I am experienced. Go with the flow. I am experienced at this. And Johnny Dotson made the comment, said doing a TV show is hard. Well, I'm not going to tell you, and unfortunately, Adam, I've told you, so you know somewhat what was scheduled. But I'm not going to tell our audience to after the show is over, because I want to see if you like the show. So it's my opinion, the show that we did with probably 5 minutes preparation time.
Right.
Certainly, because if I would have known the night before, I would have redone the format. I would have redone the note, because that's how I play. Done it many, many, many times. So the situation is what we had to change. I didn't know it was going to change to well into the morning that morning.
Right.
It's just an odd situation. But do you think that's the best way to go? Just not smarten people up to what was supposed to happen to after the show's over? How does that sound to you?
Yeah, no, that's fine. I agree with that, because what we can do is people can watch the show without the expectation of what was supposed to happen. We can kind of grade and evaluate that, and then we can say, okay, now here's what was planned. Because you're exactly right. Like you said, I think usually at the latest, that format was faxed up to TV5, usually the afternoon before. So clearly you didn't know things were changing until that day. So just again, to see what all goes into doing a TV show, and I especially say it all the time, when it's live, the difference it makes and how you have to formatting it, and live television is a whole different beast.
Frank Stevens says hello to me, RH, the owner, founder, president. He says hello to Adam Dunn as well, the producer of the show. Panetta from over the pond in Thailand is in the house, as she is every Monday. This is a show I really want everybody to stick with and watch, as Jim is in the house as we dedicate this show to Lance Russell's 5-year anniversary of his death. And again, we will mention Lance Russell's name many, many times during the show today. Real big shout out to my friend here in Jonesboro, Barry Hay, who along with his cousin Stan is headed to Florida, I assume, or it could be the Carolinas. He's headed to hurricane damage to help the people out. So prayers for Stan and Barry for doing that. Folks, remember what we're doing. We're showing you the show that we ended up going with. A major part of this show, a major direction on this show did not happen. But I will not tell you that direction to the end of the show that we're going to air now. And as a matter of fact, Adam, bring you back in as I'm so fired up and have so much on our mind. Absolutely. Did we do or did we not do a preview?
We did do the preview.
We did a preview, and so now we're going to watch show number 33 from November the 28th, 1998. Here we go. Live.
Tony Bob, what are you doing? I told you to get up on the roof. I told you to get up on the roof, Tony Bob. That's not the roof. That's not there. That won't do me no good. I told you to get on the roof. I don't care if you're afraid. He's up there. He's up there. I'm fine.
What a open. Last week we ended, or in the show, Brandon Baxter was on the roof, the top of the roof, and dumped a bucket of water on my head.
Everybody, Dave Brown and Corey Macklin here at ringside. We're ready to go with another Power Hour live from the studios of WMC TV5. Weirdness going on out in the parking lot. Randy getting paranoid on us here.
I think so. After last week, Brandon Baxter came out and threw that water on him and all of that. I think Randy wants to make sure there's nobody upstairs.
I think he's right. Since Tony Falk up there, having no Tony's afraid of heights, so he can't be too happy up in that area right there. We've got
all right, Andrew. I
appreciate
you.
Anything goes. It is going to be a wild one, and I just can't wait to get to it. Several matches. Young Guns title match
yes,
comes
sir,
up
Bob. Aaron O'Grady's going to be here today to defend that Young Guns title right here. Also, the Irish Assassin, big guy. Big ultimate fighter, competitor. He's going to be right here today.
Mick Tierney, or is he,
Yeah,
as he said when he was at, what he said, Michael Patrick O'Tierney. He's big, he's tough. He will be right here on the Power Hour today. We've got, we got a big match coming up to kick things off here. What? Outside?
Something's going on.
Outside or in the back? Wherever it is, if we got a camera, let's take it. Something's going on. Are they outside?
Oh, they are.
Oh, the streak.
Oh, look at this.
With what they got, a garbage can lid, working on Baldo.
Yeah, I'm sure they were watching the monitor back in the back and saw Randy Hales and the Syndicate out on the parking lot. That's what's happened, Dave. And there's
David Lingle saying he met Ron Simmons
look out.
Friday night. He posted a picture. I saw that.
With Bulldog Reigns, and there's Baldo and Streak. They just brought that
So we
into
start
the,
hot
into the
with the
studio here.
hardcore street fight. The Streak and Bulldog Reigns against Waldo and Vicious Vic Grimes. Started the action hot on the Power.
Boy, look at Streak go. Bulldog Reigns has got Vicious Vic Grimes, rolls him in, and we've got ourselves a tag team bout.
Let's just go ahead and ring the bell. The referee's
Sounds good
here,
to me,
so
yeah.
let's make this one official as they all go rolling in the ring. It's a hardcore street fight. This is what was scheduled for the
I want to remind everybody to check out my new YouTube channel, Randy Hales. It's Randy Hales. And I do the archive after this show goes off the air within 30 minutes. I will post the link to the show. So if you missed the Power Hour, you missed Talking Memphis Wrestling, there will be in a archive. And some memorable shows, including the one August the 2nd, that ended up a little controversial. With the Spellbinder. Spell is great. Love the Spell. Love me some Spell.
That garbage can lid. and goes after him with the garbage can lid again.
Boy, referee Aubrey Wayne standing in, and all four of them going after each other. Bulldog
Wrestling coming up in the area. Saturday night in Leakesville, Arkansas, with Tommy Rich and Doug Gilbert on the card this coming Friday night.
Big headbutt by Baldo, and Streak is down on the floor.
Bulldog Reigns going after Vicious Big Grind.
It's wrestling in Hoxie, Arkansas on Friday the 21st. I will be there with Lance No Pity Smitty, the current APW heavyweight champion, with a fundraiser in Hoxie, and I will be there the 21st.
I think Streak got to him when he smacked
Wild
him.
and woolly action.
He's going after him again with a garbage can lid.
Stiff shot from the Spellbinder. Good Grimes sets up there, and I guess we missed the shot as he was going for a power bomb, and I guess he got the power bomb as Vic comes around and goes under the ring looking for some plunder, and he's having trouble finding it. Now, here we go with a table. Jim Cornette would not like this.
Here comes John Stasiak. He jumps in on it.
Stasiak, man who showed up here a few weeks ago. Pretty good wrestler, but he's very proud of his own body. He's showing off all the time.
Hardcore match with no rules, no
On the
disqualifications.
right hand.
Look at this. Grimes has got Bulldog Reigns lying on the table out on the floor. Baldo grabs him. He's holding his leg. Big Grimes comes off the rope. Look out! Flips over the top rope and down.
Wow. Right on the table, which collapses.
Crowd pop big for that.
As Big
Yes.
Grimes, 400 pounds or so.
Yeah, this guy, Dave, he's not playing with a full deck, this Big Grimes. He doesn't have it all, I'm telling you. No way. This guy just flips right over. Does a somersault.
The referee is out of spot. He comes in, count of one, count of two, count of three, and the winners of the match. The new talent from the Randy Hales Syndicate,
I'm not
Big
either.
Grimes and Baldo.
1, 2, 3, but now Streak not happy. He went after Baldo again.
Trying
Now they've got
to
him
get
double
heat on the
teamed.
Syndicate,
Stasiak's going
trying
that way.
to establish the new talent. Whether it's Stasiak, whether it's Mick Tierney, whether it's Big Grimes, Baldo, or Aaron O'Grady. A good point in the Power Pro series, show number 33, and it starts.
It's going after another one.
Chaos starts with the chaos in the back, Adam, in the outside, up on the roof. The action's built inside, and now they're setting up a table again. They put Bulldog Reigns through the table, and let's see what happens as referee Aubrey Wayne was chased out of the area, and they already did some damage on Bulldog Reigns. Now the streak is up there as now this huge, mean, crazy guy, Big Grimes. I'll lay out on audio.
Bulldog nailed Baldo.
Streak moves and Big Grimes lands right on the table.
Didn't work out the way Grimes and Baldo had hoped it would. And Bulldog Reigns goes after Grimes now. Little payback.
What a fight here today. What a way to kick it off on the Power Hour.
There's more to come. This is just the beginning, fans. We still have 52 minutes to go in the Power Hour. Don't go away.
A lot of action, as Scott says. Nice move. Certainly a lot of action to start off this Power Pro show, and it continues to get even better as we now look at this. And that's funny. There's a spot up saying children's programming at the TV5 address. Let's listen to this audio. Children's programming, and then we're going through table. Oh my goodness, I don't think that's what they meant.
For smart drivers, no down payment, just easy monthly payments, and rates lower than Old Man River's voice. It's just not smart to rush around without good insurance. Why? If you get into an accident without insurance, you could land in jail.
No money down, easy payments. Bill Blake.
I love it. Old Man River. You'll land in jail. It's the Power Hour. It's episode number 33. It's November the 28th, 1998. We're watching that show from then, November 28th, 1998. And of course, don't think it's November the 28th right now, because it's not. It's Monday, October the 3rd, 2022. This is the Power Pro Wrestling Watch Along. Stay tuned, because I did the big tease. The big tease. I told you this show, not a major point of this show, did not happen. And I will explain that to you after this show goes off the air with episode number 33. Then I'll let you into a major debut. This guy ended up
Hey, here we are right
a
here. We want to remind everybody
WWE
that you
Hall
can join
of
us for the
Fame
Power Hour Live. The tickets to the Power Hour are
years,
free.
maybe
but you must write
decades
for 'em.
later.
Enclose the
But on this
self-addressed stamped
particular
envelope.
Saturday
We give the
morning
address
was supposed to
numerous
be
times,
his
not only during the
debut,
program, but also during the week from time to time. You can see
and he
it.
didn't debut.
Pencils,
How's that
paper,
for a
and
tease,
on
Adam?
the TV when you see it, write down the address.
I'm trying to
That'll
build
work.
audience
Union
here.
Avenue, Memphis, Tennessee,
Yeah.
38104. And join us right here. Some folks have joined
Well,
us.
that's
today.
really
Some folks.
exciting. Yeah, that didn't get over with Adam a bit, did it? Didn't excite Adam, didn't fire up Adam, but I am fired up. Our crowd is fired up. Everybody but Adam is fired up.
Join us. It's a lot of fun here on the Power Hour. We appreciate your watching today, too, and want to remind you about the action coming up as Power Pro Wrestling will be on tour.
It's on tour, buddy, and it kicks off tonight over in Jonesboro, Arkansas.
Yeah, big one.
K-Fine radio station has gotten together with Power Pro and put together a big night of action. I also understand that tickets are moving. There's limited seating over at the Earl Bell Community Center. So if you don't have your ticket yet, get down there early and be there for the Power Pro Wrestling on tour over in Jonesboro tonight.
I've also been told that Bill Dundee and Brandon Baxter will be at Bill's Superfood between 3 and 5 this afternoon. That's on East Johnson. And also a reminder to pick up your tickets in advance, as Corey said, so you'll have them. Box office opens at 3 o'clock today. Bell time's at 8 o'clock.
Going to be a big night over in Jonesboro. Hey, Lady Luck Casino, all of the great fans around Lula, West Helena, get ready. We're back this Thursday night. The King, Stacy, Too Sexy, Brian Christopher is there, the superstar Bill Dundee, and Randy Hales will be there with the Syndicate, all coming up Thursday night back in Lula at the Lady Luck. Saturday, December 12th, West Memphis, Arkansas. But before we get to West Memphis, we got Greenville, Mississippi coming up. 7:30 bell time at the Hollywood Palace. Great facility for wrestling. You see the lineup right there, a bunch of big names as Power Pro comes back to Greenville.
See, they've got
West
Paw
Memphis,
2
Arkansas.
against Blue
It's
Chipper on
December
there.
12th, West Memphis, 8 o'clock bell time at the National Guard Armory. Dave!
Nothing like live wrestling action. Be
Yes,
there when
we
it's
did.
in your territory.
More on that
now,
later.
We want to take just a moment. Oh, there, yeah. Don't forget the telephone number. If your group would like to have wrestling as a fundraiser, 870-932-3028, or you can send an email on the internet, powerprowrestling@yahoo.com. Well, it's on the way. We want to have just a couple of minutes of conversation. Here comes the King.
Well, David, I've never, because he never worked the Tennessee territory, I never met Ron Simmons.
He has a couple of things he wants to be talking about here today. Stacy leads the way.
Here
Matter of
comes
fact,
the
the King and
King.
Stacy
I believe he's
are
going to
gonna
talk
be-
about the Man
you're
on the
gonna
Moon
be,
movie.
You two are going to be over in Jonesboro tonight.
Yes, I believe you're
understand,
right.
We're looking forward to being over in Jonesboro. It's been a long time. You know, Jonesboro, other than Memphis, of course, has some of the greatest wrestling fans that have ever been. And we're going to be over there tonight, Earl Bell Community Center, and a big match tonight for me. Top Gun match, and the loser is going to have to crown the winner. Now, you know, that would be a little embarrassing for me to have to put a crown on somebody else's head, and I don't think that's going to happen tonight in Jonesboro, but that's going to be big. But before we talk any more about that, I did promise everybody last week that I want to briefly give an update on the big movie that I've been making with Jim Carrey. Story of Andy Kaufman, of course. It's called Man on the Moon. we did finish filming last week, and I think it's no secret. Everybody realizes that the very first time that I was on the set with Jim Carrey, he and I didn't exactly hit it off. I mean, he was so into this role of being Andy Kaufman that I guess he just thought that he should not like the King very much. And we did wind up having a little altercation, and I was expecting that when we went back to film the David Letterman sequence, well, I didn't know what to expect actually, and they had all kind of extra security for the Letterman people and the movie people. But as soon as we walked in, I call him Andy Kaufman myself. Jim Carrey comes walking up, and he says, "Look, let's be professional about this. Let bygones be bygones. Put all that stuff behind us. This is the last day of shooting on the movie." And the guy, as a matter of fact, the guy was a perfect gentleman, and everything went fine. I got a couple of shots here. Watch this first shot. I mean, there's a lot of talent in this. The man in the foreground is Milos Forman. He's the director of the movie. There on the right is Danny DeVito. You see Jim Carrey right behind Milos Forman, and of course David Letterman right in there with Jim Carrey. I'm standing there with my back to the camera over on the left. I don't know what happened on that, and I think you took that picture, Stacy. I'm not sure.
Well, you got up too soon.
But anyway, the next shot, as you can see here, there we are, big pals.
Man, he looks a lot like Andy in that picture right there.
Yeah, and that I think is a shot right after. And I thought things were going to get a little out of hand because I did go ahead. You know, I had to slap him in the sequence there and in the movie. And when I did slap him, it knocked him right out of the chair. I mean, it wasn't like a movie slap. I knocked him right out of the chair and busted his lip. And now here's.
What is Stasiak do? Sean Stasiak has wandered out. He's across the studio. Out, looks like flirting with some of the audience here. Come on, Stasiak. This is interview time for Jerry and Stacy.
Planting the seed, Adam. Planting the seed.
Everybody's in love with him.
I think we do more than plant the seed
Oh, yeah.
on this
In
show.
love with his own
Yeah.
body, no doubt about that.
Anyway, we got a couple more shots to show real quick. If you can get back to, I mean, we've seen enough of Sean Stasiak. There was Paul Schaefer, of course, from the David Letterman show, and he got a little out of hand. I did have to rein him in a little bit. And then, of course, there it is, all smiles now. The movie's finished, with the exception of being edited, and it should be released sometime next fall. Have you got a problem?
Sean, this is their interview time. What are you doing out here?
No one wants to hear about Jim Carrey. I mean, I'm the real star. This is the blue chipper. Look at this physique right here.
Yeah, well, next time you make $20 million for a movie, maybe somebody will want to hear about you, huh?
Let me tell you something, Lawler. I just got back talking to Mr. Hales, and he just signed a match between you and I tonight in Jonesboro for that Top Gun match. The winner gets his head crowned right there with that piece of gold right there. And I thought to myself, how humiliating is it going to be for the king? After all these years, you've been the king. How humiliating, how embarrassing is it going to be for you to place that crown on the new king, Sean Stasiak, the blue chipper?
Well, you know what? I'm not really too worried about that because there's been a lot of guys, Sean Stasiak, a lot of guys bigger and a lot of guys certainly better looking than you that have come through this area right here in Memphis and Jonesboro. And how many times have we said, I'm the new king? How many times have we heard people say, I'm going to take the crown? And as far as I'm concerned, you're just another one in that long list, Sean. You got to prove it. You got to let your actions speak louder than that big mouth of yours.
Well, I'm not going to waste my precious time talking about the credentials of the past of people that you've beaten. You've never faced a more diverse, more well-rounded, more good-looking athlete as myself. And moving on to more important matters, Stacy. You know, just like you and all the other women here in Tennessee, ever since the blue chipper has arrived here in Tennessee, you have not been able to keep your eyes off me. I know you can't resist the temptation you have to put your hands all over this beautiful body. I'm willing to forget the episode, the little stunt you pulled last week, and give you a second chance. Everybody deserves a second chance. But this, however, will be your last chance to walk away with greatness, to walk away with stardom, to walk away with 6'5", 250 pounds of shredded steel, and not to mention sex appeal. You have your chance right now, baby. What do you say?
I don't think so.
Well, there's another rejection for you, Mr. Stasiak.
Take very long. She didn't even really have to think it over, did she?
That was pretty quick.
All right. You just made the biggest mistake of your life.
Adam, go ahead and put Ricky
absolutely-
Kennedy's comment on the screen.
Yeah. Well, he's convinced.
Yeah, I had it up there earlier, and I was going to say this clearly, Sean Stasiak's best work he ever did.
I think he left out a couple of letters.
we go. Sean Stasiak. King, Stacy, thanks for sharing the pictures of the big movie there. You know what? I think we ought to just take a little short time out here. We will, well, before we do that, let me tell you again about some of the action that is going to be coming up here. The Young Guns title match is coming up. Kid Wikkid is going to be out here a little bit later on going against Aaron O'Grady. This O'Grady came in and I think surprised the wrestling world. I know he surprised us as he came in. He was able to defeat Kid Wikkid in his first shot at the Young Guns title. After coming in here, he won the title and has been able to hang on to it. We'll see what happens here in just a little while.
If we go through this moment.
What? Well, I was something in the. I was going to take a break now, but something's going on outside. Let's see.
Wait,
what?
Lawler's down.
Lawler's down on the floor.
Yeah.
What is happening here? That's Aubrey Wayne and
there's Buddy.
Mr. Coffee, Buddy Wayne checking out Lawler. I don't see Stacy either. Where is Stacy? Lawler apparently smacked in the back of the head. And Stacy would be hovering right over him, and I don't see that.
Man, can you believe it? I mean, we're, 15 or 20 minutes in. And remember, the lesson that I'm trying to make here and teach here is this. This is absolutely not the show that was laid out and booked for this event. We had a major angle and a major debut, and it was already slipped from the out of town of what it was. And what it was Fatu, who ended up being J.R. Smooth later on. And then after that, he also became Rikishi. Remember that name? And he is a member of the WWE Hall of Fame. So Fatu was scheduled on the show. Now, this is show number 33. Fatu, as J.R. Smooth, did debut show number 56. This was 33. We did get him, but we had several false alarms. And so show number 56, he debuted in a Power Pro Championship match. We'll see that in a couple of months against Michael P.S. Freebird Hayes. But again, the point that I'm making here is that you have your television prepped and you had it prepared and you had to change it up because a big debut and a big part of the show that we had going on did not happen. However, as you watch this show so far, you don't know it. You just know there's a lot of chaos, but it's organized chaos. Because again, when Johnny Dotson earlier said it's hard to do television, to be honest with you, I could do it with my eyes closed. Because of what? Because of repetition, because of experience, because of being used to dealing with this sort of thing. And also the advantage on this program having two announcers, Lance or Dave Brown and Corey Macklin, that you didn't have to overproduce, that knew what they were doing, that they were used to live TV, and they were used to just calling what they see. So that was advantage number one. I had Corey Macklin and I had Dave Brown. Then I had talent like Jerry Law and Bill Superstar Dundee. Had Stacy out there that she was with it. And we had the Spellbinder as the street of veteran talent known to the people, the audience, Bulldog Brains known to the audience. And we had two impressive newcomers, new to television, new to Memphis, new to wrestling, and Baldo and Vic Grimes. This isn't rocket science. It's really not. You have to have good talent, and you have to have somebody. Where's the format. You have to have a format. And even though at times you have to make changes, but sometimes, even though you don't have the luxury of being a live show, but you have to go live to tape. You have to, in your mind, make the people feel it's not an edited product. Because soon as the people think this has already happened, this is a chopped up TV, that's when you lose them. That's when you lose the emotional investment that you want the audience to have. It's live television. Now, this was live on a Saturday morning from the WMC TV studios in Memphis, Tennessee, 1960, and this was live. But even if it wasn't live, I guarantee you would have thought it was live because that's how our philosophy was of producing the television. This show, format wise, I don't even know if I had time to hand write. I might have had a chance to hand write a format at the time, but the one we had, the no show effective, and it didn't happen. Now, I want to comment to something Ricky Kennedy said. Ricky Kennedy is a trouble-making person that I'm very upset with because he was the ringleader. He was the founder, owner, and president of APW Wrestling, which I've come on the show and I've promoted them time after time after time after time after time after time, and I'm still promoting them. And will tell you that on October the 29th, they will return to the Mariana Civic Center with a great, great card. Unfortunately, what I'm doing is a family wedding. My lovely niece Canaan's getting married that night, and I hadn't missed a Mariana, Arkansas show yet, not one. But family comes first. Back to Ricky Kennedy. Ricky, I don't like his sudden turning on the fans, turning on some of his friends, all that sort of thing. The attitude that he has now, I don't like. But still, I think APW Wrestling is absolutely the best of the local promotions of the independent in Arkansas. The best promotion in Arkansas, bar none, that I've seen for sure. One of the things Ricky said was, and go ahead and put Ricky's comment, if you can, Adam, back up. Ricky Kennedy from APW Wrestling says, Sean Stasiak, dude, had so much upside. And here's who saw that. Jerry Lawler saw it from day one. Absolutely. He saw it. This can be a star. I saw it from his first interview, saw his looks, would give him stuff, or Lawler would give him stuff to say on television. And it gets more complicated as weeks progress. And if you don't know the story, what he's up to at the end of the show, you absolutely have to see it. Absolutely. Now, he had Lawler to work with. He had an experienced person booking it. And it all went together. And he had talent. Absolutely had talent. No doubt about it in the world. There's absolutely no doubt about it. And you will see more of Sean Stasiak later on. And we will continue this. Expect the unexpected version, my philosophy. This is Power Pro Wrestling Show number 33 from November the 28th, 1998, as we go back to action and the Power Hour. Maybe a couple commercials. I don't know. Let's roll it out.
Hallway, Lawler apparently had been attacked from behind. He was holding the back of his head. Stacy was not there. There's
another shot, yeah.
That's Mr. Coffee with Lawler and Buddy Wayne. Let's see if we can hear what he's saying.
Come on. Stacy! Hey!
I hear him looking for Stacy. I hear him yelling, Stacy. He's checking.
Yeah,
looks like he's
Lawler's
checking every room in that
the
hall.
television station. Yeah, he's just all over the place.
So Stacy was in fact not around.
Well, there's Mr. Coffee, Buddy Wayne. They're both
Lawler
with
attacked.
Lawler, yeah.
Lawler attacked from behind just before we were going to break. After we had just been talking to him, he'd been sharing the pictures of the Andy Kaufman movie with Jim Carrey. And anyway, we'll keep up with that. Let me tell you, we'll see if we can get some more information. Here comes Kid Wikkid right here.
The Young Guns title is on the line in this match.
Newcomer Aaron O'Grady came in here a few weeks ago, took the title.
Yes, sir. He stripped him of that Young Guns championship and has done a good job defending that thing, too.
He sure has. He's been able to hang on to it. And the champion will be making his way to the ring area right about now, as he has the title on the line. Here comes the referee.
Ahmad Rashad was in the house early on. Barry Hay early on. Ricky Kennedy, I did that little rant just for you.
Aaron O'Grady, boy, he's fired up, isn't he?
He's got the trophy with him. He's proud of it, and he should be. It's been a difficult trophy to win.
A wrestling television show has to be format. Now, can its format change as you go? When somebody don't show, you damn straight it can.
Young Guns Championship, I did it.
Quickly.
A lot of people said it was a little Kid Wikkid. Terror King, they said it was
The
a little
future Crash Holly, Aaron O'Grady, Young Guns champion in his debut.
They put 2 of them in the ring last week. I beat them both.
And I believe that happened on November the 7th of 1998. Am I correct, Adam?
I'll tell you what, instead of being a kid, when I beat you in the ring tonight, be a man. Just accept it. I'm the better man. You want to get in the ring?
Match. Oh, come on now.
I don't believe Adam's listening to me.
Bet at him.
Look at this, Aaron O'Grady with a reversal. Look out! Whoa.
Oh, he was going for a neck breaker and didn't get it.
I thought he had him for it. That could have been it early right
Sure
here.
good. Kid Wikkid determined to take that title back. Aaron O'Grady determined to hang on to it. That was a good move by O'Grady. He just kept it rolling.
Look at this thing. Knee drop. O'Grady comes off the rope. Big forearm takes him down. Young Guns title hanging in the balance. A 2 count. And Kid Wikkid kicks out.
Able to get the left shoulder up off the mat just in time for the referee to stop the count. By the way, information, the Lady Luck Casino, Power Pro Wrestling, glad to be back on December 3rd after taking a couple of weeks off for the holidays, and it's going to be beginning at 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock will be bell time at Lady Luck from now on.
Look at this. Kid Wikkid backs him into the corner. Nails away. Whipped him in hard.
Yeah. Aaron O'Grady in some trouble here. Oh, maybe not. Nice reversal by O'Grady. Goes for a cover count of 1, 2, but only a 2 count. Right shoulder off the mat. Kid Wikkid still alive in the championship match.
I'm very high on the Young Guns championship, and it is not really a weight limit division at this point. It was meant to be a young guy division, the young talent. I was using this as something that I could build the young talent, the new talent, by giving them their own division as a super splash, a 1, 2, and a 2 count. Another guy that's absolutely underrated, and then certainly probably the first 50 shows of Power Pro Wrestling that we really pushed, and he showed great personality. The former Tony Williams, Kid Wikkid. Kid Wikkid currently lives in Hawaii.
Interesting way to get a pin. He almost had it there, too.
Aaron O'Grady takes him down as he snaps it over. Referee Aubrey Wayne over to check and see if the shoulders are down. Says no.
On the November the 14th Power Pro Wrestling, we saw Aaron O'Grady upset Kid Wikkid. This is the return match. They had a hell of a match on November the 7th of '98, and they're having a hell of a match today
Holding on to the headlock. Kid
Aaron
Wikkid
O'Grady, the
fights his
future
way out of it.
Crash
Right to the
Holly,
ribcage.
doing a hell of a job in this match.
And
Both
O'Grady
guys,
sends in there.
this division, the
Reverses it.
concept
Kid
of the
Wikkid in.
division,
It goes undercut.
very exciting and great move
Don't
there.
forget about big action in Jonesboro,
Wrestling
Arkansas tonight.
changes.
Wrestling returning
Styles
to Bell
changes.
Center, K-Fine night. We're going to have more
And
to say about that a little bit later on.
I
It's a big
certainly
one. Box office will be open in
was
Jonesboro at 3 today.
giving the wrestlers a freedom to break some old school rules, to do things that in the past might have been frowned upon. The people were watching WCW, they were watching Monday Night Raw, they were seeing the new style. I thought it was important for me to give them this style. Tony, good counters there. Now, hell of a match. Babyface move, the 1, 2, 3.
Kid Wikkid has regained the title. Aaron O'Grady not happy about it. He attacked him from behind. Not a good move by O'Grady after being defeated. 1, 2, 3.
I don't know how much I like this. The heel won cleanly, and the babyface got mad and attacked the heel from behind. Here comes
In street clothes, he comes in.
Derek King
Well, that's a little bit of a surprise
to the ring. We were doing a story, absolutely doing a story with Derek and Aaron and Kid Wikkid. Now let's watch.
Now they look at each other. Kid Wikkid extends a hand of friendship. What is going on here?
Big pop there, Adam.
What in the world? All three of these guys. Well, they're all just focused on the championship and alliances, and apparently not going to be any alliances at all. It's every man for himself. That's pretty much what Derek King has just indicated. We got a lot more to go. There's the new Young Guns champion as he regains the title today. We got to check on Stacy. Find out where Stacy is. I'm sure Derek's looking for. We'll be back.
Hey, there you go. It's the Power Hour as we continue with show number 33. Appreciate everybody watching the show. So what have we seen so far today? We saw chaos outside. We saw the Syndicate. We saw Tony Falk up on the rope. Then a hardcore match started outside, ended up inside. We saw Jerry Lawler and Stacy, and Stasiak came out, and then Lawler got sucker punched for somebody, and then Stacy missing in action. Then we saw that fantastic match, sensational match between Aaron O'Grady and Kid Wikkid for the Young Guns Championship for sure. As Jim Early saying, Derek King is still going strong. I can tell you this, he is not going as strong as he was going in those Power Pro days, because in a traditional time slot, in a legacy station, TV5 in Memphis, on a promotion that was an offshot of a legacy promotion, Derek King started his career at the bottom as a beginner, as little bitty Derek King, Mr. Personality. And because he was around the Booker with experience, because he was around the Brandon Baxters and the Dundies and the Cornettes and the Lawlers and the Spellbinders and the Brian Christophers, and I can go on and on and on and on. To do this business right, whether it's laying out a TV, whether it's having a main event type of match, it's very important, absolutely very important that you're surrounded by people, not just the office. You're surrounded by other talent. Choice of a talent is critical, absolutely critical, especially if you're doing a television show. And we'll pick up where we left off. Here we go.
Northeast Arkansas tonight. All you folks in Jonesboro.
It is tonight.
It is tonight.
It is, no doubt about it.
In and around Jonesboro. He'd have to drive a little bit to get over to Jonesboro tonight.
Yeah.
You're going to want to be at the Earl Bell Community Center at 8 o'clock tonight. Listen to the card, first of all, but there's more to it than that.
Opening bout, Young Guns title, Aaron O'Grady takes on Derek King. Lance Jaden Blade.
Don't forget the Randy Hales YouTube page, where I put up
Big Grimes takes on Bulldog Ring.
within 30 minutes after these shows are over with. I put it up on the Randall Hales YouTube page. The archives are up there. And if you miss a show, you certainly can catch up for sure.
Where falls count anywhere when K finds
We're going again with the second edition of
Brandon Baxter, and then you got
the Out of Town on Tour segment.
Indeed, that should be something else, as you got Jerry the King Lawler going against the blue chipper, Sean Stasiak, and the winner of the match gets a crown placed on his head by the loser of the match. And as Lawler said, that could be very embarrassing for the King, but it could be also very devastating for Mr. Stasiak, especially with Jerry Lawler unhappy with his preening out here, I guess, as they were trying to do their interview. 9 big matches.
Yes, at the same time.
Advance tickets are on sale right now.
Had a hell of a house out on that night on the first edition with
We
Keith
will
Vine.
continue this in just a
Our
minute.
partner
Jerry
has
Lawler's in the
promoted
dressing room on
the
being
event,
told.
the very
Let's go there
first
now and hear what
relationship working
obviously
together
is
that we
outbound
had,
Stacy.
and we had it there in Jonesboro that night. Here's all.
He's still looking for Stacy.
Stacy! Come on, man. Now look at this. Look at this. Here's her clothes. Where's that idiot done? Stasiak! Stasiak! Well, there's Lawler. I guarantee you the King is not done with it. We'll find out more a bit later on. Right now, I want to call out Ugly Ed Johnson from K5. Super Country 107.
Thank you, Greg, for
number one radio station,
putting that comment up on the YouTube channel, and here is
Big night tonight. I just want to
the host of the morning show back in 1998. Okay,
2 weeks ago, he got on there and said that he had gotten a key to the city, that they had proclaimed Randy Hales Day in Jonesboro. It's a lie. That is not true. And so the next day, I get on the air and I start talking about how the only way Randy wins is to cheat. He lies to everybody. You know, his wrestlers, they don't all support him, you know. So he's fake. He's just fake. Well, Randy, I know tonight is going to be down there, and you're going to be special refereeing about with Randy Hales taking on Brandon Baxter, right? That's right, that's right. And I've had a chance to talk to Brandon about it, and he said, you never know what Randy's going to do, because he cheats and he lies and he does everything. Well, I was about to say, speak of the devil, but I guess not. Here's Randy Hales.
Now, first of all, who do I blame for this? What? For this idiot being on my TV show. Now, you shut up. You might be a big shot. You have a name just made, Ugly Ed Johnson, for radio. Probably never been done TV in your life. Well, apparently, who are these idiots? Who are these people here?
The people that'll back me up. Come on, Randy. Don't start no stuff.
Let me tell you something. Let me make this clear to you. I am the owner, the founder, and the president of Power.
Dookie-doo.
You're nothing but hogwash. I want you to say, do this. In my hometown of Jonesboro, Arkansas, you're refereeing that match tonight means more to me than anything in the world, because everybody respects and loves me in my hometown of Jonesboro, Arkansas. And I'm going to tell you this, as serious as a heart attack right now. Not only will I knock Brandon Baxter's teeth out, if you at all get out of line, Ed Johnson, I swear, I absolutely swear on my mother's life, I'll kick your teeth out.
You make me sick. That's what you make me.
Hey, don't insult me on my own TV. Don't insult me. Get out.
That's enough. Come on, guys. Oh, look out. Hey, come on now. Come on, Ugly Ed Johnson. K-Fine.
All right, come on.
Come
Let
on,
him get out of here.
Randy's calling for all his guys to help him, and can't do that.
This idiot is stalking me right on my own TV station. Let me tell you something. Take a shot of me right now. Get this shot of me. Jonesboro, Arkansas, my hometown. Tonight, they've already talked about it. Brandon Baxter, I swear, and I keep using that word, and I don't take that word lightly. I will kick you all over that building. I will destroy you in Jonesboro tonight. Shut up, man. You shut up. And Johnson, let me tell you something. You will regret what you just did with a bunch of bodyguards. Once again, it's on my turf. I'll get you, and I'll get you right tonight. Jonesboro, Arkansas, Orville, I'll get you.
Well, it's going to be a big night tonight. Kate finds Ugly Ed Johnson. Special referee when Randy Hales, the founder, the owner, the president of Power Pros, takes on Brandon Baxter. Here comes Lance Jade. He's got to get in the ring.
We do indeed. We got a tough match coming up for Lance Jade here. He's going to be going against the big man from Ireland, Mick Tierney, who has a history as an ultimate fighting competitor, a shoot fighter. He's big, he's tough. We saw him last week for the first time here. Lance Jade, though, has looked great.
Oh, no doubt about it. Young man out of Phoenix, Arizona. And, yeah, Dave, he's definitely made a mark here in Power Pro Wrestling as we are live from the studios of WMC TV5, and we'll wait the Irish assassin, Mick Tierney, made his first appearance last week, and here he is. This guy, let me tell you, Dave, his personality is not too pleasant at all. We welcome him here to Power Pro, and
He's pretty short. He talks to you.
Man City, USA. Now, come on, Tierney.
All right, we'll keep an eye on it for you there, Mick. Mick Tierney, the Irish assassin.
Thank you, Jim.
To the ring apron, through the ropes. Referee
We were
calls for the
rocking
bell,
and
we're
rolling.
underway with more
Everything
action
about the
on the
promotion
Power
was
Hour.
in that
Power Pro
time.
Wrestling.
As
Glad you
you've
joined
seen
us
in
today,
this
man.
show, we had
You know,
Vicious Rick Graham and Baldo getting them over. We had Lawler and Stasiak
Lawler was still looking for her at
getting him over. We were producing young talent like Kid Wikkid and
someone or something.
Aaron O'Grady, and they had a hell of a match. Now, Lance Jade, great athlete, great looking baby face against shoot fighter Mick Tierney, and this is a good match here. This has been a great show.
You know, that's almost what you got to do against a guy like Tierney. Let his own momentum work against him. And that's what Lance has been able to do so far. Can he convert it into a pin? I don't know.
Here comes Tony Fall.
I don't know, Adam. I don't know if this is a coincidence or not, of what I'm fixing to tell you, but I got a text message from Kid Wikkid, Tony Williams.
Randy, I'm afraid to hide. What I want to say right now, look at Lance Jade. Look at
He
this
says,
big man. I mean, look at me.
oh, I don't even know what the hell he's wanting. He says, call me Ken, poor favor. I think he's asking for a favor, Mr. Owner, Founder, and President. Wonder what he wants from me. Money?
And then he has you climbing a ladder.
Adam is not dead, people, because as you know, he hadn't said anything in about an hour, but he's not asleep. I see him in the monitor, and he gave me hand signals a little earlier, so he is hearing what we're saying.
Well, you know, of course, what Randy has done is pretty well eliminated the position here.
Tony.
Yeah, how did they get a job in here? They took my spot. I mean,
Tony Falk says he could be either one of
You
these
have me
guys
now?
in the ring.
I don't know
What?
if he can or not.
He's been around a long time, no doubt about
Can
it.
you hear
Let
me?
me tell you, Lance Jade and Mick Tierney, these two guys, two fine specimens
Yeah.
here today.
Did you take a nap?
Dandy of a match. Look at Tierney.
No, one of the settings was off. I thought you could hear me the whole time.
Yeah, he's got it.
Gives it up.
He's a man.
No, you didn't. You were just being quiet. I must have pitched you off
You
earlier.
may have caught him
No,
that match
not
by
at all.
distracting him, Tony Falk.
I don't think so. I could beat both of them guys. Look at this big Mick. I could beat him. I know.
I've asked you about 100 questions, but I've done that before. If you don't want to talk, you just don't talk.
They will ever know.
Oh, well, here
I
comes
answered the
Tierney
question.
I gotta go. I gotta get a phone call. Real quick.
Yeah, I bet you
Tony
do
says
too,
he's
since
gotta
Mick
go.
Tierney is headed this way. Mick
Martha
Tierney,
Shaw
the
can hear me.
winner,
What in the world?
talked to him just a little bit
I'm
last
so
week,
glad
but,
we can hear you. The people are so glad. I'm sure they're tired of hearing from me. Not only do they hear me do this, they're hearing me every other interview is me, for Christ's sakes.
You stupid, fat, ugly Americans don't seem to understand
That's the people who trained me. They've been fighting for 30 years with no rules. Now I've stepped into the octagon with some of the top ultimate fighters in the world and walked away.
That was Buddy's favorite wrestler at the time.
So all I've got to say,
Yes, and I like Mick too. He's great.
I wish he would have done more. I mean, he certainly had the look and the size and the background. Just thinking back at that time, he must have been a little bit too old for WWE at the time.
But how in the hell, Adam, did they miss the boat on Stasiak?
We'll be back in just
Any explanation of that at all?
Best I can tell on that was self-inflicted.
It's Christmas sale days at Watson's.
And another good classic Memphis wrestling commercial, the Watson's Girl.
Yeah, I like it.
That's Watson's.
You know, one thing about Stasiak, and I guess you can say it's self-inflicted, I babied Stasiak, and so did Lawler. So when he got up to the big boys, when he got up to the WWF, there was 100 scenes.
they want to mess with me. I made the mistake of coming out here by myself. We get a shot of that up there. We got a shot of Vicious Vic, hey Vic, and Baldo. Nobody. Oh,
What in the world?
Crowd pop for that.
It's your worst nightmare, and it's come true. The female fantasy Brandon Baxter's a lot closer than you think.
Uh-oh. I don't know. We've lost our lights in the studio. Where did Randy? Randy, where did you go? Randy was right here.
It's another neat thing of a TV station being able to utilize that. And all the stuff with Lawler in the back earlier and all that.
He had Vic Grimes at Baldo as part of his syndicate up there.
Yeah, he was standing there.
What in the world just happened to
I
me?
couldn't find him, and Randy's handcuffed to the ring post.
I guess.
Take a break.
I guess.
Hey, this is a hell of a show. And again, Adam,
Yeah.
let's repeat what we said at the beginning of this thing, because I had you tell the people what they would see today, and you did that. Then I said, but what was supposed to happen didn't happen. And then I will tell you what really happened later. But let's go back and what in the world is going on?
Oh, does Tony think he has the
Tony
key?
Falk, you got a key? Tony said he'll get him out. Let's see. Has he got a key?
Someone said he couldn't get himself out the paper bag.
Yeah, he did it.
Who said that?
I think it was a fan.
Tony Falk had the
Right.
handcuff key and is able to rescue Randy Hales. Does that
back over with me. The Brandon Baxter side.
No, so now Tony's back in with you.
Tony
Okay.
Falk is back in the syndicate as a result of having the key. Well, who handcuffed him? Was it Tony that handcuffed him, or was it Brandon Baxter that handcuffed him? We may never know. Lights were off. We couldn't see a thing in here. Except when the lights came back on, there was Randy handcuffed to the ring post. Well, here's John Stasiak back out here. Since we hadn't seen enough of you, did you have anything to do with that Stacy disappearance?
Everybody's speculating that I did something with Stacy, but I kidnapped Stacy. Let me get one thing straight. The Blue Chipper does not force himself on women. He does not kidnap women. Women come to the Blue Chipper.
Well, at least that's good to know. I don't know if I 100% believe you or not, but I hope that's true because it's absolutely
What a crowd there
ridiculous
that day.
any other way. What we want to know is where is Stacy?
Yeah, we still got.
Absolutely.
Have we heard any more referees?
I'm loving this show, Adam.
Oh yeah, I mean, I hate it because it almost sounds not authentic. But man, it's like every week. It's like I love the show better than the week before.
To get back into good graces of Randy Hales, which now may
Mine, I
backfire
think
on
you
him because
enjoyed.
He was in the good graces.
You say
of Randy
Dave
when he was
enjoyed
able to
me
show
being
up with a
handcuffed to the
handcuff
ring.
key
I
and get
think you
Randy
enjoyed
loose here
that.
a minute ago.
I think
John
Panetta enjoyed
Stasiak,
it.
The Blue Chipper here on
I think a lot of
Power
people
Pro
enjoyed
Wrestling,
it.
Stasiak,
I think that
second-generation
whole
wrestler,
studio
baby,
enjoyed
son
it.
of former
I see
WWF
a
World
preview
Champion
monitor, Adam,
Stacy.
and when I was being handcuffed, he was smiling and
I don't know
laughing,
if he
ear
got all this
to
stuff from
ear.
his dad or what, but all
His
this
dogs
moving around
in the
and
background
pictures
even
of
looked
that
happy.
so beautiful, all of this this stuff is just.
They look like they
Well,
were
he's quite an
celebrating.
athlete. He's just not very. He's not humble at all. You know?
Oh, here comes Jerry.
Here comes Lawler.
The King hits the ring. He goes after Stasiak. Referee calls for the foul, and Lawler lets him have it. He goes after him again, swing, and Stasiak takes off. Look at it.
Well, Stasiak can deny having anything to do with Stacy's disappearance if he wants to, but it's obvious that Jerry Lawler is convinced otherwise. He's convinced.
So we still don't know where Stacy. Maybe we can.
No, we still don't know where Stacy is.
We'll try to find out more.
Tony Falk declaring himself the victor here. What's going on? Buddy Wayne is out. He says, back in the ring.
Buddy Wayne says,
Well, here comes Stasiak back.
restart the match.
Restart it? Okay.
Yeah, and we're going to continue with this bout. Even though there was interference from the King, Buddy Wayne comes in and says, hey, let's restart this thing.
Yeah, a ruling from the powers that be that the match was to be restarted.
Stasiak jumps the
Apparently,
leg.
Buddy is the powers that
Lawler
be.
out here after Stasiak. He's convinced that
Apparently,
Stasiak
because I
did in
darn sure
fact
can't do it.
smash
I'm
him
busy.
from behind and kidnap Stacy. Stacy has not been seen since.
That, to me, though, too, is just the importance of having those type people. It doesn't have to exactly be those people, but having your buddies and Mr. Coffees, this is like extra personnel around the promotion, you know?
Goes up to Tony Falk.
Yes.
With Falk in hard until the turnbuckle goes in and nobody home. Look at Tony go.
Buddy was definitely the promoter of the spot show.
Stasiak in. Oh, but Sean catches himself and
What would you say Buddy's role at television was for you?
boy, DDT, 2 count and 3.
Sit in the back and knock the young guys.
Not what did he do? What was he supposed to do?
3 over Tony Falk.
Bring the ring.
John Stasiak. Well,
And then at times be a spokesman, especially after I switched heel. You know, I needed a babyface role, and he did that.
Back over this way.
That was all business. Now I'm going to show you a pleasure. Follow me.
Follow you, follow him. Can we get a camera to follow Stasiak?
Now where in the world is he going?
I don't know. He said he was taking
the
care of
wrong ways.
business
Where's he
there as he
going?
got the victory over Tony Falk. He goes through the curtains, heads for one of the exits.
Got a camera following him there at
Aubrey had to tell him.
Aubrey Wayne.
Turns and he's coming back this way. All right, he's got something to show us. All right, the camera's following. He goes out another exit.
Clearly, he wasn't familiar with the layout of the station.
And he wasn't all there.
He's
Just
going.
basically,
Where is he going?
he wasn't.
He's going up into a loft area, a prop storage area here. That's where a lot of the things that aren't used on a regular
Just
basis
watch
are
him
stored.
Patience.
Stasiak goes up there.
You're going to see why Channel 5
Yeah,
felt
the
necessary to tell you when you
camera's
could
up
find children's programming
There's
earlier.
Stacy. What is that?
Come on.
Now that is just absolutely disgusting is what it is. Lawler sees what's going on. Well, Stasiak made a critical error right there because Lawler
That's right,
knew where
Greg.
that was in the building, and he goes after Stasiak. Look out, here comes Baldo. Big Grimes. As
They all seen Lawler back there up in the stand here.
the Randy Hales Syndicate. Let's take a break. Let's get Lawler some help up there, all right?
Here comes Street.
There is nobody that's enjoying this show today better than Adam Dunn in the Rome, Georgia area. I guarantee you.
Better believe it.
Adam loves this kind of stuff. Here we go. We're closing the segment of the show.
Okay, thank you. Here comes Brandon Baxter right here. Oh, look out, lights down.
Lights go down and here's Brandon back.
I think the lights were probably supposed to come down before he came out.
Continue! Randy Hales, I imagine you're a little tied up right now. Tonight, your hometown of Jonesboro, Arkansas.
I think Sean's a chiropractor in Texas, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, sir. I've heard that too.
Baxter shows up with the lights off, so I guess we know where that came
Yeah,
from.
I think we suspected, and now we're pretty sure who ended up handcuffing Randy Hales to the ring. It was Brandon, and he's going to be looking for him in Jonesboro tonight, 8 o'clock at Earl Bell Community Center in Jonesboro. 9 big matches, advanced tickets on sale right now. Box office opens at 3. Here's Lawler.
I know you got no time left, and that's exactly how much time you got left, Sean Stasiak. No time, pal. You are out of time, if you know what I mean.
Stasiak signed in a match already tonight in Jonesboro, Arkansas with the King, and boy, has it all of a sudden taken on quite a different tone after what Stasiak did to Stacy here today.
Absolutely ridiculous, Dave. The whole
There's
thing going through that.
buddy
But
Carl.
I hate to be in Stasiak's shoes, I guarantee you
Yeah.
that. Because the King's looking for him.
The King will find him, too, tonight in Jonesboro, Arkansas. It's going to be a big one. It's going to be a big Power Hour next week. Hope you'll join us for that. Until then, for Corey Macklin, I'm Dave Brown. So long, everybody.
Whoa.
Show number 33 of the Power Hour. All right, as we're in the studio right here in my hometown, Jonesboro, Arkansas, where I am wearing the Red Wolves, Arkansas State University, who won our game. Who did we play? University of Louisiana Monroe is who we played, and we won. And I have the big Red Wolf on my show, but I want to bring Adam Dunn. Adam, could you tell if I wouldn't have told you, and I made the mistake of telling you exactly what the show should have been, and as you watched the show, did you have any idea at all, any evidence of watching that program today that it was totally in chaos?
No, and just again, that's my point. I mean, pardon my language, but what a fucking show that was. I mean, I don't know what having J.R. Smooth on the show, hell, what that could have done. I mean, the show was already so good, and it's almost, I don't know because I'm not seeing the format there. I don't know just how much of this show was unplanned, but just with everything else that went on, it certainly didn't feel light on time anywhere. And the stuff with Lawler and Stasiak, like I said, that Stasiak's best part of his career was Memphis, no question. And knowing what's coming up with the stuff at Lawler's house and everything that's going to happen in the coming weeks, I mean, a fantastic show. Everybody had a good showing. Lance Jade, Kid Wikkid, everybody that was on the show today, Derek, everybody. I mean, just what a fantastic show. And again, I think I mentioned it last week or the week before. It's nice when you have just a couple of the guys in there from the WWE and not like 20 or 30 of them, when you're able to kind of blend them all together like we've been able to do on the past few shows and on several of the shows coming up. But yeah, it is just interesting to point out that Rikishi apparently was going to come in as Fatu. And we see that, we've mentioned that too, that a lot of times they were going to come in, the same thing with Carl Ouellette and a couple of the other guys. They were going to come in with different names and may have debuted with different names at a house show a week or so before. But then interesting, the names that they eventually had, even with, we mentioned The Rock, he wrestled a house show before that USWA show, and he was not Flex Kavana. It wasn't until he hit TV that name happened. So very interesting. I'm curious to hear just what all was formatted differently on the show.
All right. Well, when you look at it, not a whole lot. There was a parking lot, the roof, the whole thing that we did. That was the opening thing, and the Streak and Bulldog against Vic Grimes and Baldo. That match took place, so that was certainly supposed to happen. The next segment was when Lawler came out and Stasiak out, and all that situation was supposed to happen. Segment 3 was Kid Wikkid and Aaron O'Grady. That was supposed to happen. Segment number 4 was Mick Tierney and Lance Jade. And certainly we did that. Segment number 5 was supposed to be an interview with me at the set. I introduced, and I mentioned, was supposed to mention in the opening segment when I was out in the parking lot, that Fatu was supposed to be out there with me, and he was more of another one of my henchmen, my main henchman, and he was going to debut later on in the show. So I'm in the ring with Fatu and all this, everybody in the syndicate is there. And then all of a sudden, the lights go out. Now, somehow, I don't know how I got away or leave or something, but at this point, I wasn't there. But I was there at the beginning of the thing. The whole syndicate was there. The lights went out. They came back on, and all the members of the syndicates were knocked out. And Fatu was supposed to be standing over them. And then later on, when Brandon Baxter came out and did that last interview, he was saying money can buy anything, and he had turned the tables, and he had bought my henchman, and we were going to put Brandon with Fatu. That was what was laid out. But I think going the way we went, and we know what's happening next week, and the 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 next week, and where this goes, there was no spot for Fatu. You agree? At that point.
I would agree. And again, just what has to happen with live television and things that happen, that fans at the time have no idea. And it's really funny. It's not like he missed it by a couple weeks. It's like 6 more months before J.R. Smooth actually comes to Power Pro. So it's really interesting to learn that he was supposed to be there, and to think about him being aligned with Brandon as a babyface, knowing the run that he had when he did come with guys like the Dirty White Boy and with the title matches against Kurt Angle, just how different that would have been. So it's just really interesting to find out things like that you really never knew as a fan watching at home.
Yeah, it's just absolutely fantastic. Tell them what they'll see or what we think they're going to see next week.
Right? Yeah, so coming up next week, we're going to have show number 34. It'll be December 5th, 1998 edition. Randy Hales and Tony Falk will start things off. We'll see Vic Grimes going up against Bulldog Reigns, while the Young Guns 4-corner match, we'll see Derek King, Lance Jade, Kid Wikkid, and Aaron O'Grady. That should be a good one coming up next week. We'll get a Brian Christopher interview. Notice he was absent today, but we'll get a Brian Christopher interview plus a brawl with Dundee, who was also absent today, I believe. Mick Tierney going against the Yellow Jacket. Baldo will be taking on Blade Boudreaux. Sean Stasiak will be going against Streak. And we'll see the superstar Bill Dundee going up against Too Sexy Brian Christopher. All that coming up on next week's Power Pro Wrestling Watch Along, Randy.
All right. Al is in the house, and he's commenting on the show. And Al, I hope you are able to listen to the Wednesday radio show, Front Row with Bud Row. Will be on there. And a little production note, as you see right now, KNA Sports Talk, 953theticket.com. And you can catch me every Wednesday morning at 9 o'clock Central Standard Time. And I'm going to produce right now as messages to Adam of how, because we didn't discuss what I wanted to do here, because I just decided, because this is live television. This is how not only am I able to go a direction I want to go in, but I have a experienced television producer that will be flawless in doing this. What I want to do is the folder, instead of the Power Pro folder up there, I want you to switch to the Talking Memphis Wrestling folder, and that way you have access with several pictures there, and you have switched to that. And I am excited about the show tomorrow. We're going to talk about modern wrestling. We're going to talk about the news and the late breaking news. And we lost this past weekend a legend. We will back that up, hopefully, with some graphics on the picture. One of the greats, Antonio Inoki, who in 1976 had a great mixed wrestling boxing match with the great Muhammad Ali. And apparently, there we go. In 1989, Antonio Inoki was in Memphis as brought in uh, Fujinami to wrestle Jerry Lawler for the unified title. This is Antonio Inoki with Jerry Lawler in Memphis, Tennessee. So we will be talking about that. And I will be talking about a lot of great road stories and talking about some of the people that I had the best time with and I traveled with the most. Whether it was the first wrestler that I ever rode with in my life. Can you guess, Adam? I think you can, because if you know Randy Hales, you know without Eddie Marlin, there would be no Randy Hales. And Eddie Marlin was my first riding partner. And that picture was taken close to the end of Eddie Marlin's life. Great picture, I think, is very good of both of us. Love riding with Eddie Marlin. A guy, this is a very young 13-year-old, maybe 12-year-old Randy Hales, maybe a 10-year-old Randy Hales with my friend Randy Wade with Eddie Marlin back in the day, because number one, and been with me, been a part of my life for a long, long time, and certainly the first wrestler that I would ever rode with, Eddie Marlin. My friend, will you hear me talking about him on the Monday show and the Tuesday show? The great cameraman and video editor, the son-in-law of Eddie Marlin, Randy Dandy, Randy West. This is a fairly recent picture of Randy and his wife, Diane Marlin West. And there's another more recent picture as they went with their daughter Tammy, I think, to the Boston area. And so we will certainly hear stories about Eddie Marlin and Randy West and great times we had on the road. Also, I rode with a lot of people. I rode with Tojo Yamamoto and Jerry Jarrett. We'll show a picture of Jerry Jarrett in just a minute with Bill Dundee. There's that picture, and that's two people that I rode with a lot. There's a single picture of Tojo Yamamoto. So we will show that as well for sure. And then there's one guy that in several different eras, and I think there's not a picture up there. There he is. He was a member and of October. Just recently, he was not re-inducted, but we gave him his own graphic, Tojo Yamamoto, in the class of 1994, the very first class of the Memphis Wrestling Hall of Fame. Tojo Yamamoto. Have some great Tojo stories I will tell you tomorrow, and that will be a lot of fun. Some classic stories. A guy we don't talk about, but I used to ride with him with Jeff Jarrett. I used to ride with him in later years with Frank, with Whoopi D. There's the picture of me and Jeff together. But I want to show you the picture of Frank Morrell, the spoiler, the angel, the race story, the weed story, the crazy stories. I mean, I got so funny. I can tell you a story, and we'll tell you a story. We were going to Springfield, Tennessee, which is 30 miles, if that. Got in the car, started doing something we should have done, and got carried away. I was driving, and we kept going and laughing and joking and partying. I looked up, and there was a sign that said Louisville, Kentucky, 10 miles. I had overshot the runway by 150 miles. I'll tell a Frank Morrell story. I will tell a Whoopi D story, several Whoopi D stories. I'll tell the the road trip from hell. I'll tell the snow story. Picture, I think that there we go. Whoopi, D, and me. We'll tell a lot of road stories. We will tell a classic stories with Mr. Perfect Kurt Hennig. And I think that you will enjoy that. I'll tell stories with handsome Jenny Valiant. I will tell stories with Harley Race. I will tell you all kinds of stories that you've never seen. And there's just some memorable trips and some memorable stories. And I can't wait to tell you that tomorrow night at 7 o'clock Central as we do Talking Memphis Wrestling in a loaded show. Final words tonight, Adam Dunn.
Well, let me get myself up on the screen here.
Okay.
And let me get us changed back over to the other folder so we can get our background loaded. There we go. So, no, another great show. We mentioned it at the top, and of course, I'm sure we'll mention it again. Can't believe already 5 years since Lance Russell passed away. But a great Power Pro Wrestling show. And again, I can't imagine had it gone to format what kind of show it would have been because it was just, over the top spectacular today. And I know, and I almost hesitate to say this, but I know a lot of the criticism that Power Pro got at the time was that you were on there quite a bit, but you being on there, the only thing I can do is judge the reaction of the crowd and judge the houses of the shows. And the most impassioned promo of the show today, what I would say would have to be yours, and probably the most awesome segment of the show would have to be the Lawler Stasiak, and then Stasiak up top there with Stacy above the offices in the back there. Just an outstanding show, and I'm looking forward to the progression of it. And anyone that doesn't know the Shawn Stasiak Lawler story as it progresses, you'll want to see the next several shows 100% for sure.
Now, here's the deal. I had heat, and I started getting my heat back in May. And it built and built and built. This is November. I did a lot of mean stuff for Walt. I put Baldo with me and Vic with me and Mick Tierney with me and Shawn Stasiak with me for a reason. So they could use piggyback off of me because they were unknown, absolute unknown, that they could piggyback over my heat. And I think Shawn Stasiak would soon become maybe the guy with the most heat, including more heat than me, because maybe I said bad stuff about Stacy, but I never kidnapped her, not once. And he ended up with a ton of heat for sure. And I want you to go full screen with the graphic as we're going to finish with the way we started, but the graphic of Lance Sains that's up there. And I believe there we go. And they're so classic. Yellow again, everybody. Hey, come on, Tojo. Don't be starting that kind of stuff. Will you show some class? Oh, come on, Hart. Son of a gun. By golly, we got a good one here. Eddie Marlin, can we get some help out here? You wait a minute. I'm getting sick and tired of you coming out here every week. All right, get these guys out of here, will you? We're going to take a break, Davey. Whoa, boy. What in the Sam Hill is going on? Look out. All right. Don't get into that stuff. You got to say something to me? You better say it to him. The great Lance Russell passed away 5 years ago today, and we switched to that other picture of Lance Russell that's so iconic that he's looking at the classic picture of Lance Russell. The radio show Wednesday, Talking Memphis Wrestling tomorrow. Thanks to Adam Dunn. Thanks to everybody that watched the show today and participated end this show today. I thank you guys for supporting my mission of keeping the legacy of Memphis wrestling alive. And we're going to do this quick. I'm just going to say, I'm Randy Hales, and I'm out.
Living the Dream, Memphis Wrestling. The Randy Hales story is available now at randyhalesmemphiswrestling.com.
Power Pro Wrestling. Power Pro Wrestling.